All right, let's talk about a race. A high-stakes, microscopic sprint that happens inside your body every single time a virus shows up. It's interferons versus antibodies. And honestly, the winner of this race is the difference between you getting a mild cold or something way, way worse.
So, just picture it for a second. A virus, maybe a cold virus, gets into one of your cells. The clock starts ticking, like immediately. It starts making copies of itself. So, who's the first one on the scene? Who's the first responder? That's the big question we're going to answer today.
And here it is. This one sentence is the key to this whole story. Interferons act first and broadly, antibodies act later and specifically. Seriously, if you get this, you get everything. It explains why one person gets the sniffles and another ends up in the hospital. So let's really break down what that means.
Okay, so a viral invasion starts. That virus gets into your respiratory cells, and its only mission is to replicate, to make more of itself. And it does this unbelievably fast, basically turning your own cells into little virus factories. This means our immune system isn't just in a fight, it is in a flat-out race against time.
And in this race, we've got two totally different lines of defense. You can kind of think of it like the tortoise and the hare, you know? You've got your early responder, the super fast interferons, and then you've got your late responder, the slow but powerful antibodies. Two different players, two very different game plans.
So let's meet our first responder, the interferon. I want you to think of this one as the body's emergency alarm system. Its job isn't to fight the bad guy directly, it's to sound the alarm, and to do it as fast as humanly possible.
So what even are interferons? Well, they're basically these little signaling proteins. When a cell gets infected, it starts pumping these out. But here's the key. They don't kill the virus. Not at all. Their entire job is to scream a warning to all the neighboring cells, telling them, hey, lock your doors, there's an intruder. They create what we call an antiviral state. And here's a super simple way to remember what they do. Just think fast. They are the first responders on the scene. They trigger an antiviral state. They signal to their neighbors, and for them, timing is absolutely critical. Speed is their superpower.
All right, now for our second player, the antibody. You can call this one the specialist. If interferons are that frantic alarm system going off, antibodies are the special forces unit that arrives later for a very precise strike. So what do? Well, antibodies are these Y-shaped proteins that are custom-built to bind to one specific part of a virus. It's like a key fitting into a very specific lock. And once they grab on, they neutralize the virus, stop it from getting into other cells, and basically paint a giant target on its back so the rest of the immune system can come and destroy it. This is direct, hands-on action. And just like before, we've got a way to remember their key features. Think smart. They are S, specific to just one virus. They are M, memory-forming, which is the whole idea behind vaccines, right? They are A, antigen-dependent, meaning they need a piece of the virus to even know what to build. They are R, require time to produce, and that's their biggest weakness. And their action is totally targeted.
Okay, so we've met our two responders. Now, let's put them on the clock and see how this whole battle unfolds in a real infection. This is where it all comes together.
This table gives us a perfect side-by-side comparison. Look, interferons are part of our innate immunity. We're born with them, they're ready to go. Antibodies are adaptive, meaning they have to learn the enemy first. And that right there explains the difference in timing and specificity. And the big one, only antibodies form a memory. That's the basis for long-term immunity. So the whole thing really happens in 3 key steps. Step 1, the virus gets in, starts making copies. Who's there? Interferons, immediately. Step 2, the interferon alarm goes off. This slows the virus down and warns all the nearby cells. Now, this phase right here, this is what decides how sick you get. And then finally, days later, step 3, the antibody cleanup. The specialists arrive to neutralize whatever's left. It's this beautiful, coordinated, but super time-sensitive dance. And this brings us to probably the most important point of all. Interferons decide how severe the infection becomes. Antibodies decide how completely it is cleared. One of them controls the initial chaos, the other one finishes the job. They're not competing, they're partners in a really critical relay race. But look, this isn't just a biology lesson. This timing, it has massive real-world consequences. Let's look at why this simple timeline matters so much to your actual health.
Okay, let's take scenario 1, something we've all been through, a mild cold.
So why is it mild? It's because your body got the timing just right. A strong, early interferon response contains the virus right from the get-go. Viral replication stays low, symptoms are minimal, and by the time the antibodies show up, the battle is pretty much already won. They're just there to do some cleanup.
But now, let's flip the coin. Let's look at scenario 2, severe viral pneumonia. This is what happens when things go really, really wrong.
In this case, the interferon response is weak, or it's delayed. That alarm system just fails to go off properly. And this allows the amount of virus in your body to just explode. It becomes dangerously high. All that chaos leads to massive inflammation, causing serious damage. And the worst part? The antibodies arrive too late. They show up to a raging inferno that they just can't put out.
And you know, this brings us to a huge lesson we learned from the recent pandemic. In so many of the severe COVID-19 cases, doctors found that patients had plenty of antibodies floating around, but they were still critically ill. So what was the problem? Their initial interferon response was broken. It was the ultimate proof that antibodies alone are not enough. You absolutely need that early alarm.
Here is one final analogy just to lock this all in. Think of a viral infection like a wildfire. Interferons, they're the fire alarm and the sprinkler system that go off immediately. Antibodies, they're the firefighters who show up later. But if that initial alarm system fails, the firefighters might arrive to find the building has already burned to the ground.
And so we end on this one. Perfect summary. Interferons buy time. Antibodies finish the job. It's a partnership where timing isn't just important, it is literally everything. And understanding this race is the key to understanding how our amazing bodies win the constant war against viruses.